Krapf, Editor-in-Chief of WorkBoat and WorkBoat.com. We're at the WorkBoat Executive Summit here on the day before the WorkBoat Show, and I'm talking with Matt Taibbi, I said it right this time,
yeah.
who's the contributing editor for, what is that, Rolling Stone? Oh, yeah. I read Rolling Stone. I read that in college all the time, but I still read it now and again. But Matt writes a lot of articles for them, including a lot of stuff in the economic crisis, and of course today that's who we are addressing. A lot of bankers today, as most of them are bankers, not investment bankers.
Right.
They're commercial bankers, which is a big difference.
Sure.
But that's one of the things I wanted to ask you is about your article you wrote in 2011 about why isn't Wall Street in jail. So the question is, how do we get these guys, the feds right now, how are the feds doing more to protect and prosecute these guys, real quickly?
Well, I think one of the problems is that they're if you remember correctly, when they went after Arthur Anderson in the mid-2000s, the accounting firm, they filed an indictment against the company, a single felony indictment. And
is that over Enron?
Yeah, it was. It was connected because they were shredding like tons of documents and everything. Clearly there was malfeasance, but they indicted the company and then they lost 28,000 jobs after that. And so ever since then, there's been sort of a movement in Washington to be cautious about proceeding against really big companies that employ a lot of people, and they just have not figured out a way to do it. They're afraid even to prosecute individuals now, and Eric Holder came up with this whole doctrine of collateral consequences, which is you cannot prosecute if the consequences are too big. And so that's where we are right now. We're in this place where they haven't figured out how to get past the problem of how do you deal with a really big company that employs a lot of people that commits a crime, and they don't know how to do it yet.
But the second question is about what you just talked about, the debt ceiling. Now, quickly, you talked about, but why is that going to be? Could that be a big deal? The analysts at Chase, I know, told you.
Well, the whole world's economy is based upon the stability of American debt. I mean, it's sort of the sun around which the entire international economy revolves. And if that were to collapse, and a lot of the assumptions of all kinds of financial transactions would go. There would be defaults and across the board cascading losses. It would be similar to what happened in 2008, I think. And of course, borrowing costs for the United States would skyrocket after that. We already saw a little bit of that when Moody's downgraded us the last time. But this would be so much worse going forward in the future because people would be naturally worried about lending the American government money now that we have a history of deciding not to pay it back.
Okay, but thanks, Matt. I think I'll wrap it up since we have to get going here. And I want to thank Matt.
Thank you, David.
And we'll continue on with our coverage. Thanks.
Thank you.